Revelation 5105. From the 16th of April 1951. Connection of heaven and earth. Love. Will. The spell of silence is broken. The world of light reveals itself. There are no boundaries that man cannot cross. Heaven and earth unite, and I myself descend to man in the word. There is nothing hidden anymore. There is no unbridgeable gulf. People can experience the truth as soon as they want to. Take note, you humans, that I want to bring the truth to all of you and withhold it from no one, but that a condition has to be fulfilled that you seek the truth. Therefore, I will always open the sphere of life where the hunger and thirst for the living water is evident. Yet I will never force a person to accept the refreshing drink who does not desire it, even if it is offered to him against his will. This shows that I am certainly willing to hand it out, that I inform all people what they should do in order to become blissfully happy, but that I only offer it and do not exert any influence or coercion to make the person willing to accept it, which, however, would mean every unusual and natural event on the person's will. Extraordinary signs will certainly make themselves felt. Things will certainly happen which seem miraculous to the believer because he considers everything that happens to be connected with my will, yet the unbeliever will not see anything strange in it, nor will I ever influence him in a strange way because this would never have a beneficial effect on his soul. Everything in spiritual judgment follows the prescribed course of development until it reaches a certain stage, and until then my will is effective in it. But once it has passed this stage, my will withdraws and the human being can freely want and act. I don't approve of anything which means coercion for him, which would inevitably change his will and his thinking as soon as people influence their fellow human beings, yet freedom of will is strictly respected on my part. Yet I bless every effort for the purpose of a change of will because it can lead to the aim. For the return of a child to the father from whom it had distanced itself. And therefore I am looking for eager servants on earth who want to support me in the end time, which has begun and is therefore significant for the whole of humanity. And their cooperation consists of carrying a light into the darkness everywhere, that is, of spreading the full truth which starts with me as the eternal truth. The light now shines in many places, but where it is carried to by my servants on earth, a spark of love must necessarily glow there, which now ignites itself at the light and becomes a bright flame. Otherwise the light's access is closed, otherwise it radiates without effect on the human being's heart. Only a person capable of love can radiate light, and only a heart willing to love feels the effect of these rays, and his will to love becomes action. The ray of light becomes ever stronger and shines far out into the darkness. Therefore there can be no compulsion in the spreading of the light of love, of the eternal truth from me, but love alone gives and love alone receives, but love is not subject to compulsion. And since truth comes forth from love, truth cannot gain access to people through compulsion, and thus it is also impossible for my will to initiate a spiritual action which would render people's will unfree by causing things to happen before people's eyes which contradict the laws of nature. Thus they have to be recognized as unnatural. However, as long as such recognition is questionable, as long as there are also other explanations for unusual occurrences, there is no obvious compulsion to believe. Although indications are constantly given through my will which can make people think and believe, they must never be compulsorily influenced by the messengers of light in heaven and on earth. Until the end, messengers from above will instruct people. Until the end, every single soul will be struggled for. Until the end, every single person will have graces at his disposal without measure. And until the end, I myself will work among people through my spirit. Yet until the end, the human being retains his freedom of will which may not be influenced, although it can be recognized that he fails because he abuses his freedom of will again. But then he must also bear the consequences according to my eternal order, which is irrevocable. Amen.